Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about the top 3 best EV stocks, which are electric vehicle stocks to buy right now with very impressive financials and therefore fundamentals. In this video, we're going to be dissecting 3 main electric vehicle companies, but I am also going to give another 3 bonus companies that I myself also like in the electric vehicle space. For more stock news videos like this one, or if you want more videos about the best stocks to buy right now, remember to go and smash that like button right now, subscribe if you are new, comment your thoughts down below or your favorite electric vehicle company, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. So let's talk about the best EV stocks or the best electric vehicle stocks to buy right now. But when we are comparing various electric vehicle companies, we need to keep a few things in mind about the overall EV space. First is that the EV market is still in its early stages of development, which gives investors a lot of potential growth. However, this also means that some investors are too invested into this particular space, which means they could either be already too overexposed, thus taking on unnecessary risk, and they need to diversify into other places in the stock market, or it means that these electric vehicle companies are overly priced and are trading at a giant premium because a multitude of investors have identified the growth potential of this overall space. The next thing we need to keep in mind is that this particular EV space is very volatile, which means that the stock prices of these companies and the respected share price for each of these companies are going to go up and down very easily depending on macroeconomic factors and what the economy is doing. Lastly, we all need to make sure that we are going to do our own research and due diligence on these companies before you decide to invest into any of these companies, because you need to be able to hold these companies for the long term, which means that you need to be comfortable with the overall company fundamentals, and you need to be willing to hold onto these companies even if their stock price gets cut in half. The majority of the time, EV stocks are rather expensive, trading at that premium like I said earlier. However, if you have a solid investment strategy or investment plan in place, you should really rely on these companies' fundamentals, in which eventually the stock price will reflect those fundamentals. So, for the EV stocks that we're going to be talking about, a lot of them have actually underperformed the overall market in the last few months, and this is mainly due to rising interest rates to get inflation under control, which has put a lot of pressure on growth and technology stocks, particularly electric vehicle and EV stocks. The second reason why many EV stocks are declining right now is because during this negative macroeconomic environment, we see investors gravitating more toward safer investments such as blue chip value stocks and of course dividend stocks. However, nonetheless, we are going to go over some of the best EV companies to buy on a fundamental basis. Some of these names are going to be familiar to you, others may not be. However, even if you are already invested into these companies, remember that we should always continuously do research on the companies that we are invested into the majority of the time. So let's start off with our first company, which is no one's surprise. It's going to be Tesla's TSLA stock. And what I like about Tesla is that they are more than just an electric vehicle company. They have many other segments that they are known for, which just makes the overall company more diversified and ultimately more profitable and a good long-term investment in my opinion. Right now, the TSLA share price trades for $303 per share, while professionals believe the company is worth anywhere between $302 and $461 over the next 12 months. When we talk about the EV market, it's actually almost disrespectful not to bring up Tesla because they are just that good, and in my opinion, they are leagues ahead of any other electric vehicle company, thus making them a huge market leader in terms of their technology. This is literally one of the most popular electric vehicle companies on the market, and they are at the forefront of innovation in the electric vehicle space. Now, Tesla's share price, I think, is trading at a great premium, but with that being said, their share price has trended upward over the last couple of years. Especially the further we go back, we can see that Tesla has given their investors huge returns, which is why I think Tesla is a great long-term investment to have in any electric vehicle portfolio. Tesla is literally an EV giant, and it's doing extremely well in terms of their financials, to where it consistently beats analysts' estimates throughout 2021, and I anticipate that they will continuously do that throughout the future. With these fantastic financial financials, it seems that Tesla is on a great growth trajectory and their stock price appreciation should continue to impress. Now, I actually have two companies that I want to give as somewhat of an honorable mention when we're talking about Tesla. The first one that comes to mind is BYD. The ticker symbol for this company can either be BYDDY or BYDDF because this company has multiple segments. However, this is a Chinese electric vehicle company that also has their fingers in many other segments very similar to Tesla, but because many investors have a hard time investing into ADR shares or companies that aren't American, I decided to give an honorable mention over to Rivian, ticker symbol RIVN. And this company makes electric delivery vehicles as well as actual electric vehicles for their consumers. Right now, the RIVN stock has fallen dramatically from when they were first listed on the market down to around $38 per share, but it seems to have almost found a bottom around here to where analysts believe the company's worth anywhere from $27 on the low end to $83 on the high end over the next year. And again, this is just going to be an honorable mention. This is not a substitute for investing into a company like Tesla. Now, the next company we're going to talk about is Ford, ticker symbol F, which currently trades at $15.59, while various professionals and experts in the stock market believe that the company is worth anywhere between $10 per share and $28 per share. Some investors also believe that various electric vehicle companies are actually set to overtake and pass Ford, but I think in the coming years, Ford could definitely increase their overall EV competition. Ford has not always been at the forefront of electric vehicle technology, but they are dumping billions into this particular space. Ford has already launched successful electric vehicle models, including probably the most popular one of theirs is the Mustang Mach-E. The company's also very solid fundamentally because from a financial perspective, the company is firing on all four cylinders. So what do I mean by that? Well, Ford recently has tripled its overall operating income from a year ago, particularly if we look at the second quarter results from last year. Their automotive revenue also was outstanding for the quarter at $37.91 billion versus only $24.13 billion the prior year. So overall, it looks like Ford is not only increasing their revenue and their operating income, but they are also aggressively trying to infiltrate the electric vehicle market, which I think they are doing quite successfully, especially for a legacy automaker. In the United States, Ford's auto sales rose by around 1.8% during the second quarter, but what I like to hone in on is that their shipments over to Europe has actually increased by around 22%. Ford also said it would reinstate its quarterly dividend because of its outstanding strong profits for its first quarter. The company also reiterated that it's going to continuously invest into new products and technologies, which would mean that they are going to pour billions of dollars into their electric vehicle segment, which in this case, Ford is going to be spending around $50 billion. So it's no wonder why I think Ford, as well as this article, believes that Ford is one of the best electric vehicle stocks or EV stocks to buy right now. Now, a good honorable mention to Ford would be GM, also known as General Motors, ticker symbol GM. GM and Ford are very similar companies in the fact that they are both legacy automakers and that they are extremely innovative when it comes to electric vehicle technology because they are pouring billions and billions of dollars into going electric. Right now, GM's stock price is $42 per share, while analysts believe the company is worth anywhere between $29 and $90 over the next 12 months. So if you don't like Ford particularly, feel free to look into General Motors and vice versa. However, for me personally, I do not see a very large growth runway for either Ford or General Motors in my personal portfolio, which is why I have very, very low allocations to Ford and General Motors. But I still want to have them in my portfolio so I can have a diversified electric vehicle representation in my overall investment portfolio. The last company we're going to talk about on this list is NIO, ticker symbol NIO, which trades at $21 per share. NIO is a fully fledged and breaded EV electric vehicle company that is headquartered over in China. NIO is one of the largest Chinese EV companies, and they are doing a fantastic job infiltrating the global market by expanding over in European markets. The current stock price, like I said earlier, is $21 per share, but analysts believe the company is worth anywhere between $24 and $67 over the next 12 months. NIO has already delivered more than 200,000 electric vehicles in China, and they have demonstrated that their overall fan base and technology is absolutely amazing, which means that they have very high demand for their products and services. NIO, as they expand further into Europe and other places, this is just going to drive their revenues and hopefully their stock price even higher. Now, I do want to say that the stock price is actually down by double digits since the beginning of this year for a multitude of reasons. The first one is that it needed to cool off from the exuberant electric vehicle hype that we found in 2021 and in 2020. Another reason why the stock price has fallen so much is because they are headquartered over in China. They have a huge presence there. That's where the majority of the revenue come from. And China had multiple shutdowns, which really hurt the selling of their electric vehicles and their overall sales. Another problem is that they've been hit really hard due to supply chain and production problems, which again has negatively impacted their overall bottom line. Lastly, there is tension between the US and China, which again has made investors pull their investments from NIO to invest into more US-centered companies. Not to mention there is still some delisting headwinds ahead of the company, but I've already covered that in previous videos. Now, I personally do like NIO, and I think it's a good opportunity to actually buy this company because, as always, when I see a good company that has good fundamentals and financials experience a sell-off, that's when I actually jump into the company. I don't jump into companies when the stock price is going up. I actually jump into the company while the stock price is falling because that's when it's a good opportunity once the premium is cut in half. Also, I want to say that they are very attractive in the sense of their PS ratio compared to other companies is very well positioned. I also anticipate that the overall EV growth over in China, which is the electric vehicle capital of the world, will continuously increase, and thus we can conclude that the long-term outlook for this company remains very positive. Now, an honorable mention or a comparison for NIO would be another company named XPeng, ticker symbol XPEV, which is another electric vehicle company over in China. Right now, the company trades at around $16 per share, while stock experts believe the company is worth anywhere between $18 on the low end and $43 at maximum. Now, I personally own both XPEV as well as NIO, or NIO, or XPeng, whatever you want to call them, either by their ticker symbol, their ticker name, or their company name. I think both of these, or betting on both companies, is a pretty good idea, because like I said earlier, I like to have a very diversified set of electric vehicle companies in my portfolio, because diversification not only allows you to identify the best company and make trades and investments accordingly, but it also prevents you from suffering unnecessary losses. This is why my personal portfolio has suffered a lot less than the majority of other investors, because I have a very diversified portfolio, which lowers my chances of losing money while the stock market is in a bear market or downtrending. Now, I also want to throw in the last honorable mention in this video, and that would be Lucid Automotive, ticker symbol LCID, which is an American-based company that is, I think, comparable to XPEV as well as NIO. But I would love to hear your thoughts down below about all of the electric vehicle companies that I mentioned in this video. Are there any electric vehicle companies that didn't make this list, either in this article or as an honorable mention? Subscribe if you are new, smash that like button for more videos just like this one, and I will see you in the next YT video.